Hey there, movie buffs! Welcome back to our channel, the Kovetsky Spacefield Speedway. Welcome to the Kovetsky Spacefield Speedway, a speculative yet scientifically grounded concept that challenges our understanding of cosmic mobility. It's a vision that dares to imagine travel not limited by traditional physics, but inspired by the very fabric of the universe. The cosmic barrier. Einstein's theory of relativity has long been the gatekeeper of what's possible in motion. According to it, as any object with mass approaches the speed of light, its energy requirement skyrockets toward infinity. This makes superluminal, faster-than-light travel fundamentally forbidden by classical physics, but space itself expands faster than light. But there's a loophole, and it's woven into the cosmos itself. Space, as described by cosmologists, is dynamic. Since the Big Bang, it has been expanding, and in some regions, expanding faster than light. Galaxies recede from us not by moving through space, but because space between us and them stretches. Could we ride that wave? The Kovetsky hypothesis? The Kovetsky hypothesis builds on this idea. It imagines naturally forming vacuum corridors, regions of exceptionally low density, shaped by the large-scale expansion of the universe. These corridors, coupled with exotic energy fields like negative energy density, could provide pre-structured lanes for movement not through brute force, but through alignment. Field-tuned propulsion. In this model, a spacecraft wouldn't need to break the speed of light. Instead, it would synchronize with the vacuum corridor's expansion using specially tuned field engines. These propulsion systems wouldn't push the ship forward in the classical sense. Instead, they would allow the ship to flow with the curvature and motion of space itself, appearing superluminal from the outside, while remaining subluminal locally. No relativistic paradoxes, because the ship doesn't accelerate through space, but is transported with it. We avoid relativistic paradoxes. There's no infinite energy requirement, no time dilation to the extreme, and most importantly, no breakdown in causality. Time flows naturally on board. The paradoxes of backward time travel and infinite mass simply don't arise. The Speedway unfolds. This concept, a highway shaped by the architecture of the universe, becomes the Kovetsky Spacefield Speedway. Not a physical road, but a navigable framework formed by the laws of cosmology themselves. A bridge between deep theoretical physics and future technology. Future steps in physics, of course, this is speculative science, but it's the kind that invites exploration. Future research would need to simulate the properties of these vacuum corridors, map their behavior under cosmic conditions, and design propulsion systems that can interact with negative fields without catastrophic instability. Final message: if successful, this wouldn't just be a breakthrough in propulsion. It would redefine the map of interstellar travel. The future of spaceflight might not come from breaking light's speed limit, but by flowing with the universe itself. Imagine the universe as a giant expanding Hubble sphere, almost like a balloon being inflated. But instead of galaxies riding on a stretched surface, they're more like buoys floating in a cosmic river of expanding space. The galaxies are gently pushed into swirling orbital paths by the momentum and curvature of the flowing space itself. Using Newtonian mass-energy dynamics, inertia, mass, momentum. A flowing river spacefield path based on expanse at 43 miles per second with energy content of 450,000 meters per second squared. A negative ground created by the Hubble push force exciting the galactic bodies, similar energy repel and expansion. Visual brainstorm. 1. The Hubble sphere. A translucent, glowing sphere at the center, slowly expanding outward. Layers or rings could show different epochs: early universe, now, future. Expansion creates a pressure wave or current in space itself. 2. Space as a river. Depict the background as a flowing, almost liquid-like medium, maybe semi-transparent streams moving outward from the center. Use ripples or currents to visually suggest the flow of expanding space. Maybe faint eddies or whirlpools where galaxies cluster. 3. Galaxies as buoys. Small, distinct, luminous point spirals, ellipticals caught in the river. Oh, as space flows outward, the galaxies are nudged into subtle, orbital drift patterns. Oh, their motion could be illustrated with thin arcs or spiral trails. 4. Newtonian mass energy influence. Oh, heavier galaxies distort the flow around them, slightly similar to gravity wells. Oh, use gravitational shading, the flow bends or is slowed around massive bodies. Oh, maybe show inertial wakes behind larger galaxies, like the wake behind a boat. 5. Color palette. Oh, deep cosmic blues and blacks for space. Oh, bright whites and faint blues for the flow of space the river. Oh, galaxies could be colored golds, reds, blues to represent their types and motion. 6. Dynamic effects. Oh, you could even have outward moving wave fronts like shockwaves to suggest bursts of faster expansion inflation. Acceleration. Oh, tiny arrows or flow lines could indicate the direction and strength of the space river's current. Optional enhancements. The swell. You could depict the expanding sphere pulsing slightly, swell and brief, representing the energy of expansion. Midfield gravitational waves. Somewhere mid-distance from the center, shows subtle rippling distortions in the space river, representing large-scale gravitational waves influencing the galaxy orbits. Mathematical overlays, ghosted in the background, faint grids or vector fields showing Newton's law effects, F equals ma, gravitational pull vectors, etc. Summary of the image composition. Center, glowing Hubble sphere, expanding. Background, river of space, flowing outward. Galaxies, small masses riding the current, orbiting slightly, heavier ones distort the river flow. Dynamic lines, flow currents, gravitational eddies, slight wake effects. Visual layout plan. 1. Center. The Hubble sphere, appearance. Glowing, semi-transparent sphere at the center. Color, pale white, light blue aura, slightly textured like a subtle plasma surface. Action, sphere is visibly expanding outward. Use outward radial motion lines or subtle blur effects. Optional inner detail, slightly layered shells inside, showing earlier stages of cosmic expansion. 2. Space river, flow of expanding space, appearance. Oh, flowing radial lines moving outward from the sphere. Oh, slight curvature in the flow to suggest orbit-inducing bends. Texture, wavy, almost liquid, like a very slow-motion river or fog. Color, semi-transparent streams in bluish white, faint shimmering patterns. Special effects, some areas where flow converges and bends around massive galaxies' eddies. 3. Galaxies floating in the flow, placement, scattered around the sphere, but more visible toward mid and outer areas. Motion, oh, small spiral galaxies, ellipticals, dwarf galaxies. Oh, light arcs behind them showing their orbital drift. O trails are slightly curved suggesting mass inertia interacting with the flow. Mass effect, O larger galaxies slightly slow or bend the surrounding space river. O show little distortion ripples behind them like boat wakes. Oh, maybe a subtle gravitational lensing effect. 4. Energy mass Newtonian dynamics representation. Overlays. Oh, faint vector fields or arrow grids radiating from the sphere. Oh, equations like F equals MOF equals MOF equals Ma and FG equals GM1M2R2F underscore G equals frac GM underscore 1M underscore to R AFG equals R2GM1M to ghosted into the background. Curved paths. Oh, show that galaxies aren't moving directly outward but are orbiting slightly around the expanding sphere due to mass inertia and gravitational interactions. 5. Midfield gravitational waves optional but powerful. Appearance, O. At about 2/3 distance from center, show soft ripple bands. O like tiny ring distortions in the space river. O represent large-scale gravitational interactions on the structure of space. A negative field energy has an elusive weight to it. It is a byproduct of a positively charged particles. If such positive particles were connected in an excited state with another positive charged state between a moving vacuum space field, they would appear in part the vacuum field of the space. A ship traveling in such a negatively charged space with the ability to travel 350,000 miles per second or even faster could in such a vacuum field speedway. That's a compelling conceptual model. You're effectively describing a positively charged particle lattice energizing vacuum space, creating a negatively curved or permissive corridor for superluminal-like travel. This could resemble a kind of negative field energy speedway, a structured pathway through spacetime that reduces inertial constraints. Galaxies are like dots drawn on the balloon. As the balloon inflates, space stretches between the dots. As negative energy is also expanding but measures in negative field detection, can a ship travel as fast as its engines allow it, with engines capable to accelerating the ship possibly 350,000 miles per second in vacuum? You're asking a very insightful question, blending cosmic expansion, negative energy, and the possibility of faster-than-light propulsion. Let's break it down in clear parts. 1. Can a ship travel at 350,000 miles per second? That's approximately 1.87 the speed of light. C equals 186,282 miles. Sec equals 186,282. Text miles. Sec C equals 186 to 8. According to special relativity, nothing with mass can be accelerated through space faster than light using conventional propulsion. It would require infinite energy as you approach CCC. So, with normal engines, the answer is no. You can't just go faster by adding energy. 2. What about using negative energy / warp drive concepts? Now you're in the domain of hypothetical physics, where negative energy plays a key role. Alcubierre drive warp bubble. Proposed in 1994, it allows a ship to stay still in a warp bubble of flat space. The space behind contracts and the space ahead expands. The ship rides a wave of space itself, like a surfer on a wave. B. Negative energy requirement. This kind of drive requires exotic matter with negative energy density similar in concept to the repulsive energy of dark energy or the Casimir effect. Such energy has never been generated in usable amounts. It would allow effective superluminal travel without violating relativity, because the ship never moves through space faster than light. Space moves it. 3. So, can it happen? Theoretically, yes, with exotic physics. If humanity could generate, contain, and shape negative energy, a warp-style engine could allow effective speeds of 350,000 miles per second or more. This wouldn't violate Einstein. It's working with spacetime, not pushing through it. Summary: question classical physics, exotic physics possibility. Can a ship go 350,000 miles per second via thrust? No. No, due to relativity. Can space carry a ship faster than light? Not normally, yes. Using warp, negative energy. How a warp bubble works compared to traditional thrust? At the same speed if the space between the galaxies were convention negative field energy due to positively charged planetary bodies excited by the sphere expansion, would that allow for a ship to travel 350,000 miles per second? Proposing a fascinating speculative model. That positively charged planetary bodies excited by cosmic sphere expansion generate or induce a negative field energy in space. And if that negative energy field pervades the intergalactic void, it might allow a ship to travel at 350,000 miles per second, 1.87 the speed of light. Let's analyze this in a structured way. 1. Negative energy fields in space. Negative energy, in theory, can counteract gravitational attraction, as in cosmic inflation, or dark energy. Warp spacetime, as in Alcubierre's warp metric. Permit effective faster-than-light motion without locally exceeding c. If the intergalactic medium were pervaded by such a negative energy field, it could potentially reduce the inertial resistance to motion, or distort local spacetime to allow apparent FTL travel. But negative energy is not well understood or known to exist in usable forms. Current physics has only mathematical frameworks and vacuum fluctuation experiments, for example, the Casimir effect, as hints. 2. Space stretching plus planetary influence. You suggest that planetary bodies, by virtue of being positively charged and embedded in an expanding spacetime sphere, energize or modulate space. This is highly speculative, but not absurd in a creative framework. If expansion stretches the vacuum field and changes its properties, for example, permittivity, permeability. And if matter energy distributions influence these fields as Einstein's field equations suggest, then it's conceivable that large-scale structure might co-create or modulate field dynamics like negative pressure zones. Still, no evidence exists that planetary bodies cause negative energy to form, though your idea resonates with Mach's principle or non-local field coherence ideas. 3. Could a ship use this to travel at 350,000 miles per second? In principle, if such a negative field existed naturally and a ship could interface with it, then yes, it might be possible for the ship to reduce its effective mass or resistance to acceleration, warp local spacetime like a built-in warp bubble, achieve effective superluminal motion without pushing through space. But again, this would not be classical propulsion. It would involve coupling to spacetime fields, possibly polarizing space with engineered field geometries, and a novel understanding of gravity, charge, and expansion. If the intergalactic medium is suffused with a repulsive, negative energy field, potentially shaped or modulated by positively charged celestial bodies, and a ship could harness that field, then 350,000 miles per second travel may be conceivable under speculative physics akin to warp theory. According to modern-day physics and relativity, gravitation on Earth regenerates a mass energy and increases its potential by exciting the molecules in the mass body. This in turn causes the mass to gain weight energy when it is accelerated. This is classical physics. In a negatively charged space field that acts as the gravity, a mass body accelerating the vacuum reverts that mass energy excitation of energy and shrinks it in accordance with negative energy. This in turn causes the mass body or the ship to decline in its energy mass. In turn, the mass body becomes weightless. This intervention of energy reduces the body mass energy to a negatively implied force relative with the vacuum it travels through. Acceleration of this body accelerating the classical net velocity to speeds faster than light using Newtonian laws of conversion. A single Waro engine having light speed capacity using dual anagenous, the ship will travel twice as fast. Classical physics address this space field and matter floats to the top of vacuum gravitation. That heavy bodies like planets and stars generate positively charged energy to obtain momentum in space. The space field vacuum is classified as being a low-density field rotating heavy bodies in space. A ship traveling in space in such a negatively charged field or a pure vacuum field seems to warrant classical Newtonian physics, with expanse playing in the background pushing space in its expanse. As the expanse of the Hubble sphere expands at a constant rate of progression, space is rippled as the expanse of the Hubble body continues expansion. A negatively charged space field activated by the expanse push, regulated by positively charged planet bodies by Newtonian physics, asserts a negative charge on the centerized space vacuum field. Virtual particles pop in and out of this appearance as this cycle proceeds.